A mom called the police on me for simply watching my niece at the playground, never realizing that I was the very person who would decide the outcome of her custody battle. I should have walked away the moment the blonde woman asked if I was another dad dealing with divorce, but my 5-year-old niece was laughing too hard on the swings for me to leave. She cornered me while the other moms kept their eyes on us, insisting that men only showed up on weekday afternoons when they were trying to look good for the courts. She had no idea that I was the psychologist hired by those same courts to evaluate the parents fighting for custody. At first, she whispered things under her breath, tugging her daughter away when my niece invited her to play. Then she asked, in a tone dripping with suspicion, which family I work for. When I told her I was just watching my niece for the afternoon, her expression stiffened. There was something eerily familiar about the way she carried herself. Then it clicked out: her case file, her name, her Thursday appointment circled in red on my desk. She launched into a monologue about how her ex-husband had also pretended to care about their daughter, how he'd show up at playgrounds just like this, with that same fake smile she claimed I had. Then she tilted her head and asked again if I was divorced, because what grown man hangs around a playground on a Tuesday instead of going to work? I kept my face perfectly neutral. If she knew who I was, the situation would explode. Some people take family time seriously, I said quietly. She rolled her eyes and turned to the crowd of moms behind her. That was when she started performing. She waved over a man in a suit who was eating lunch on a bench, dragging me closer by the elbow. She pointed at his crisp white shirt, then at my old one, flicking my sleeve as if she'd touched something dirty. See? Real fathers take pride in themselves, she announced loudly. A few moms nodded. Her confidence grew. She stepped close enough that I could smell the bitterness of her coffee. Do you have pictures of kids on your phone? She asked. Men like you usually do. My stomach tightened. I'd read this pattern before, almost word for word, in her evaluation reports. And the spiral only escalated. She suddenly raised her voice, claiming there was a creepy man making everyone uncomfortable. Kids stopped playing. Parents turned to look. Sweat pooled at the back of my neck. Then she stormed over to a group of children and warned them not to go near the strange man by the swings. She pointed directly at me while their little faces filled with fear. My niece's new friends backed away from her. Before I could speak, the woman began circling me, snapping photos from every angle, narrating loudly about predator alert documentation. Each click of her phone felt like a punch, the kind of evidence you can never fully erase. My niece ran toward me crying, confused and scared. The blonde woman grabbed her by the arm and yanked her back so hard my niece fell to the rubber ground, the impact knocking the air from her lungs. Your mommy asked me to take you to someone safer, she cooed with a forced smile. Your uncle won't be allowed near you anymore. Watching her traumatize my niece stirred something primal in me. My niece screamed for me, reaching out desperately, but I forced myself to stay composed. Any sudden movement would be twisted against me, but when the woman started dragging her toward the exit, I stepped forward. Let her go, I said, voice steady despite the fury rising inside me. You're hurting her. Her eyes lit up with satisfaction. She shoved me hard against the fence, pinning me with her forearm. The chain link dug painfully into my back. He tried to lure a little girl into the bathroom. She declared into her phone, "No, officer. He's getting aggressive now, please hurry." When the police arrived, the younger officer froze mid-step. "Dr. James, why are you here?" The blonde's grip slackened immediately. The officer explained, loud enough for everyone to hear, that I was the district's chief custody evaluator, the person who wrote the recommendations for every co-invested divorce case. I'll see you on Thursday, I told her while buckling my niece into her car seat. She stood frozen, the reality of what she'd just done settling heavily onto her shoulders.